What's up guys, and welcome to a 12 Days of Star Wars themed episode of Comic History, the series where we talk about iconic origins and storylines for all sorts of great characters and series. For those of you who don't know, in celebration of the holidays and the release of Star Wars The Force Awakens, RNS is going to be doing 12 Star Wars themed videos coming out from now up until Christmas. And to kick it off, we're going to be talking about Star Wars Dark Empire Volume 1, a storyline where Luke Skywalker turns to the dark side of the Force. Leia emerges as a Jedi and has two children, who are almost certainly the main characters in the new Star Wars film, and Han Solo brings some classic smuggler greatness and fights off Boba Fett. This series takes place 10 years after the events of Episode 6. After the Battle of Endor, the Republic temporarily set up a new government over most of the galaxy, but after years of struggle and fighting, the remnants of the Empire banded together and asserted control back over the majority of large planets, until when recently diverging factions within the Empire began a civil war, weakening the Empire's hold but leaving the galaxy in a state of turmoil and war. Han Solo and Leia, who are married and already have two children, along with Chewbacca and C-3PO, are traveling to the remnants of the Imperial City where Luke Skywalker and Lando Calrissian have crash-landed and broken contact amidst a space battle in the atmosphere. The planet is currently engaged in full-on civil war between the warring factions of the Empire, leaving Han and Leia one AT-AT skirmish away from finding their friends. After finding Lando and the remaining rebel forces, they're attacked by militant scavengers that have cropped up in the social unrest, but are saved by a dark figure that appears to be Vader, but is quickly revealed to be Luke, who single-handedly takes out an AT-AT and the entirety of the scavengers' forces. Luke then tells them that a vast evil is approaching, one that is inevitable and that he must face alone. A wormhole opens up over the planet and a dark storm of force energy swirls toward Luke, and he yells again for them to leave before it kills them all, and Luke is left to face the storm alone, with only R2-D2 unwilling to leave his side. Leia feels ripples of Luke being in great danger through the Force and urges Han to help her save him, but Han replies that they need to trust Luke's judgment and spend some time to themselves for once. Luke and R2 are transported to the planet Biss, one of the last remaining centers of the dark side, and forces his way to the one who called him there. Luke enters the throne room and finds himself face to face with Emperor Palpatine, who explains to him that their last encounter was not the first or last time that he has died. In his old age, Palpatine found that the immense power of the dark side was eating his body alive from the inside out, and had found a way to live on eternally within the Force, existing more so as energy than a living being, and had been cloning himself over and over to stay alive throughout the years. Palpatine then offers Luke his father's place as his apprentice, and Luke is conflicted knowing that if he slays the Emperor out of rage, Palpatine will only rise again in the Force, and that he may even be able to take control of Luke's body and use his immense connection to the Force for evil. Deciding that he'll learn the secrets of the dark side and use them to destroy it from within, Luke embraces the dark side and becomes the Emperor's second in command. Leia feels the repercussions of this through the Force and finally convinces Han to help her go after him. Leia is met with a vision of Darth Vader, which then forms into her brother, who tells her that he has taken Vader's path to defeat the dark side from within, and then she hears the Emperor's voice laughing in victory. After a series of adventures through a network of Han's old acquaintances to find a way to sneak into the heart of the Empire, Leia comes across a ragged, deformed former Jedi who had been cast out of the Force and left in exile following the Great Jedi Hunt. And the old woman sees great power in Leia, giving her her old lightsaber to help her restore balance to the Force. Hounded by Boba Fett, who had survived the Sarlacc pit and had been hired by the Hutts, Han and Leia escape and make their way to Biss, where Leia feels Luke controlling the entirety of the Empire's forces. Leia pilots the Millennium Falcon with the Force and uses mind tricks to stop enemy fighters from destroying them. Han's contacts escape with the ship after dropping them off in the tower, and Skywalker appears, telling her that his master awaits her. Han tells Luke that he's gone off the deep end and that being a Jedi was obviously too much for him, and Leia pulls out her lightsaber to the delight of the Emperor. He destroys the lightsaber, and when Leia attempts to force throw an engine at him, he force lightnings her into submission, throwing Han into a rage, Luke grabbing him by the throat and saying again that Han doesn't understand any of this, and that he's doing this to save the galaxy. Palpatine tells Leia that she is destined to be even greater than her brother and attempts to sway her to his side by offering her ancient Jedi knowledge. He then tells her that his current body is soon to die, and that he plans to enter the body of her unborn child, meaning that sometime after her first two children were born, she got knocked up again. Leia steals the holocron and escapes, finding Luke, who tells her that her presence has broken the dark side's hold on him, and that he had already uploaded the codes to disable the Empire's fleet into R2, leading her out of Biss. Confronted by Han, Luke tells him that if his plan works, the Empire will be no more, and they escape the planet together before quickly learning that Luke had tricked them into thinking he escaped with them, getting them safely off the planet while continuing his plans on Biss. He confronts the Emperor and kills his living body, intending to kill all of the clones as well, but before he gets to the last one, the Emperor passes on to it, rapidly growing stronger in the Force with each second and clashing with Luke, eventually beating him in a lightsaber duel. The rebels use R2-D2's codes to fight the Empire's forces, and Leia learns of a prophecy through the holocron that talks of Luke's fall and her fate to fight for their future. Leia confronts the Emperor and Luke, fighting Luke off with a new lightsaber while telling him that her son, all of her children, would become great Jedis and usher in a new era, with Luke being their teacher. Her words reach something in Luke, and he finally breaks the dark side's hold on him, throwing Palpatine into a rage, him yelling about how Darth Vader, under the mask that brought terror to the galaxy, was just a weak-hearted man and that Luke could be stronger, fighting and then losing a lightsaber duel with Luke, while also reopening the dark side storm he had created before. Luke and Leia join their force powers together and cut him off from the dark side, causing him to lose control and be swallowed up by his own power. With Emperor Palpatine defeated, the ancient knowledge of the Jedi holocron in their hands, and Luke there to teach Leia's children, Volume 1 wraps up with Luke stating that the Jedi Knights were going to return. Hope you guys enjoyed this comic history. This is the first of my 12 days of Star Wars, so be on the lookout for more great Star Wars content. Also, make sure to thumbs up this video and subscribe. Support us by donating to my Patreon at patreon.com/RNS Entertainment. Subscribe to my gaming channel, and may the Force be with you.